Now the first one today is kind of typical of me, really, doing things back to front, inside out, whatever. The rest of the world is currently talking about and buying the 50th anniversary of a certain album. Maybe not the one you're thinking I'm going to mention, but it's this one. Genesis, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Now, incredibly, this was the only Genesis album I hadn't got a copy of. I don't know why, and I know that I haven't lost it or lent it to anybody. I just never got round to buying one. It's one of those things I've been meaning to do forever. I must pick up a copy of that. Now, I've got a CD, not of the album, but I've got a CD of a live concert of it, which I think may be one of those off the radio broadcast type things that somebody copied from me, or it may be a copy of a bootleg or something. But it's pretty good. But if I felt like I wanted to listen to The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, I played that and it was pretty good. But I always kept thinking I must go and buy a proper one. So I found one, a good one, nice clean one, decent money, a few months ago. And of course, as soon as I found this and bought this, what happened? They're going to announce that 50th anniversary box set, which, to be honest, I probably wouldn't have bought, and I think it's quite pricey. It's probably for people who think this is their favourite album. This isn't my favourite album. It's good. It's typical of a Genesis album. In fact, it takes a few listenings to get into it. Every time I play this, and I haven't played it that many times yet, but every time I play it, I like it a little bit more. I still don't think it'll ever get anywhere near Foxtrot for me, but it's a good album. It's a nice package. All nice done. My copy is lovely and clean, as you can see. Pretty good stuff. There you go. Genesis, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, the final album to complete my Genesis collection. Now, quite a lot of the rest of these are going to come in today in multiples, if you like, because the next is 4 albums from the same band. It's 4 albums from Black Sabbath, and it's 4 albums from the Tony Martin era of Black Sabbath. Now, I had these albums, and back in the day, used to go to the gigs every year. They were great little gigs. Cozy Powell, Neil Murray, Tony Iommi, and Tony Martin, of course, playing in nice smaller venues, and they were never packed. And it was a good night out, and they were good live. And Tony Martin was good at the Dio stuff, and he was good at the Ozzy Osbourne stuff, and I liked them. Now, I've got a mate in the village who's a big Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath fan, and he hadn't got any of the Tony Martin stuff, and he'd never heard it. So I said, well, I've got them, you can borrow mine. And I lent them to him, and he listened to them and he liked them, and he sort of like, because he was a collector, he says, oh, you want to sell them to me, dear? And I kind of didn't, but I thought, well, how often am I going to play them now? And he really didn't want them, and he's my mate, and I thought, so I said, yeah, okay, so I'll let him have them. And then, of course, they announced a little bit afterwards that they were going to bring that box set out, so I felt a bit guilty then. But he said, no, that's all right, so I'll probably buy that anyway. So I thought, well, yeah, I'll do that, and I'll get them back that way. Of course, I didn't click the button fast enough, and it sold out far quicker than I thought it would. And so I never ended up getting it, so I've now got this gap. But of course, what's happened recently now, in the last year or so, is they've released them all separately, haven't they, on ultra clear vinyl, so I've picked them up that way. Well, I've picked some of them up that way. The first one isn't in that box. It's this one, the Eternal Idol. Now, that's not part of that box set that came out, and this one is an American Record Store Day version, which is on red vinyl. And I picked that up for next to no money off eBay. I think it was about 12 quid or something. Really good, great album, sounds great, good stuff. Then there's as they do on Amazon, what I do, I'm sure a lot of people do the same thing. There's stuff that you're sort of half interested in, you stick it in your list and then check every day or whatever to see when the prices are going. And I've picked up some great ones there where it's been like 70% knocked off just for like a few hours, and you snap it up quick. Happened with these Black Sabbath albums a few weeks ago, and I managed to pick up Headless Cross, which was pretty good, again on ultra clear vinyl. I personally don't remember the cover having that sort of pink tinge on the cross, but maybe it's my memory, I don't know. But yeah, it sounds great, so I picked that one up, and these were about 25% off. They're still quite priced, they're still the wrong side of 20 quid, but they were not cheaper than they were when they came out. So I managed to pick up that one, Headless Cross. Also managed to pick up this one, which is Tier or Tur or TY, whatever you want to call it. And that's always got on clear vinyl as well. That one's great. A lot of people, I think this one is the best one of the Tony Martin albums. I like them all, to be honest. I don't know if I could pick a favourite, but this one is pretty good, so I was pleased to get that. Now, for some reason, Cross Purposes wasn't in the sale, so I haven't got that one yet. But what I did get was the final one, which is this Forbidden one, which of course has been remixed, say it again, has been remixed and remastered by Tony Iommi. It was an awful album. I didn't have it on vinyl, I had it on CD, and I think I played it more than twice. I thought it was absolute rubbish. And everybody was telling me how brilliant it is now that it's been redone. I put it on, and to be honest, I think I just don't particularly like that first track, that The Illusion of Power thing, because I listened to it and I thought, yeah, it's better, but it's still not very good. The rest of the album, though, is great, so it may take me a few more listens to get into that first one. I just think it's probably just going to be one of those songs that just doesn't click with me. The rest of it's great, though. If you've only ever heard this album from the original version and you think it's rubbish, and you get a chance to listen to the remix, it's well worth it, because it does. The rest of it now does sound more like these albums than it did before. So I was pleased to get them, so I've just got to get Cross Purposes now, and then that'll be the Sabbath stuff sorted as well. Two from the Metal Queen now, her latest album, which is this one. Well, for those who don't know who the Metal Queen is, it's Lee Aaron, and this is her latest album, and it's called Tattoo Me. Now, I didn't realise when I got this that it's a covers album. It's all covers. There's some strange choices on there, particularly the last track. They run through what's on there. Tattoo, Are You Gonna Be My Girl? Even It Up, What Is and What Should Never Be, that's interesting. Is It My Body? Go Your Own Way, The Pusher, Malibu, Someone Saved My Life Tonight, Connection, and then the odd one at the end, Teenage Kicks, which is a real strange choice, I think, but it sounds okay. It's a good album, it's a Lee Aaron album, you know what you're going to get. I personally think she's probably a better singer now than she was when she started. Pretty good stuff. It's in a nice sort of purple vinyl. There's the picture on the back as well. Hope you can see them, because the lights are a little bit different today, because I don't very often do these videos in daylight, and it's, what time is it now? Probably about 6 o'clock at night, so it's still light, but it's not that light because it's Hurricane Amy is battering the place, and some whopping big trees outside my place. So if you're in a great big crash and you see a tree coming through the roof, don't be too surprised. So there you go, Lee Aaron, Tattoo Me. And I also got a second one from Lee Aaron that I've got missing, because a lot of her stuff since she made a sort of comeback, if you like, about 10 years or so ago, is pretty pricey to get over here on vinyl. But I managed to get this one nice and cheap. It's Radio On from a few years ago, and again it's a nice package. It's a gatefold, this one, with the lyrics on the inside, and this one is on a sort of sunny yellow vinyl. Another nice picture on the inside there as well, and let's have a look at some sunny vinyl on such a wintry day. There you go, sunny yellow vinyl, great stuff. Really good album, this. Yeah, so if you've not jumped back on board with Lee Aaron after she made a bit of a comeback, well worth doing. She's put out quite a lot of albums, firstly an album a year for the last 5 or 6 years, and they're all good. Lee Aaron, Radio On, well worth getting hold of if you get the chance. Another twofer, now if you like, 2 albums by the same band. Again, 2 that I've got missing. A band I've been going for a long time. I've been with these right since the beginning, since they sort of took the world by storm, didn't they, really, in the early 90s with that first album of theirs, Backstreet Symphony. So these Thunder, and I picked up 2 that I've got missing. The first one, Bang, which is really nice. The way these are working is because they always put out decent length albums in the CD days, so the album fits on 3 sides, and then the 4th side has got a selection of live tracks on it. They've all got the same sort of setup. You've got the cover on the front, the cover with all the info on the back, and then you've got a band pick in the middle with all the blurb, and each disc is a different colour. This one has got a sunny yellow one to kick us off on side 1, and then a white one on side 2. So that's Bang, one of the, I think, 3 or 4 Thunder albums that I've got missing. I've still got 2 more to pick up. I've obviously got the first one when it came out on vinyl, and then the rest were all on CD. I think for some reason I sort of stopped picking up towards the back end of the 90s, early 2000s. I had a few missing, and I still got a couple missing now, but the other one that I picked up at the same time as this one, and where did I get these from? I actually got these from HMV. They're on a massive sale and they were down to about 15, 16 quid a piece, which is a great price for a nice double album, and they sound good as well. The second one I got was this one, The Magnificent Seventh, which I think it's safe to say is probably their 7th album. Again, same sort of format, band picture in the middle, 3 sides take up the album, and then the 4th side is live. This particular one at Manchester Academy and 3 at Shepherd's Bush Empire. And the other good thing that they've done is they haven't stacked it with the old hits sort of that you've heard all the time. They've actually used tracks from that album, so it's relevant. It makes the whole package sort of relevant, if you like, to itself. You know what I mean? And again, they're in different colours. I haven't slipped these ones into the Japanese plastic sleeves yet, but one of these is orange, and the other one is a sort of sky blue colour. So I think I've just got 2 that I've got to get now. I can't remember what they're called. I think one's Robert Johnston's Tombstone. I have heard these. I've got them on download, so they're not albums that I've not heard. Robert Johnston's Tombstone, and then I can't remember what the other one is called off the top of my head, but it'll be somewhere in amongst that little group of albums. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, I've got 2 more to get hold of. They weren't in the sale for some bizarre reason. These 2 were, and I think the normal price, they're knocking on for 40 quid, which is a bit much, I think. So when they get down to a sensible sort of price, they'll be nestling in the cabinet as well, and then we'll have a complete set of Thunder as well. And that seems to be a bit of the theme today, doesn't it? Completing collections, and this is another one that is going to complete a discography for me. Well, it's going to complete a discography that I want anyway, and it's this, and it might not be recognisable to many people from this because it's got a slightly different outside cover. The outside cover that it came with when it came out is just like a brown paper bag, and I don't know whether a lot of people probably binned that or something, because this is, I suppose technically it is an outside sleeve, or is it an inner sleeve, because if you open it up, it opens up from the top where you can put the record and the thing in. So it is sort of the outer sleeve, but it might not be instantly recognisable as the cover, because people who are more used to seeing the brown paper bag version, if you like, and it doesn't really make it clear what it is from that, does it? But what it is the Guess Who, as everybody knows, are my all-time favourite Canadian band. Burton Cummings, one of my all-time favourite singers and songwriters, really, no matter where it comes from. And this is Artificial Paradise, which for some reason I had not got a copy of. Most of the early, or the really early Guess Who albums, I've only got on CD. When we get into sort of the time of American Woman and Share Your Land and all that sort of stuff, I've got them on vinyl from then on. But this one, for some reason, I've never picked up a copy of. I've heard some of the tracks off it on some compilations and whatever, so it's pretty good stuff, this. So that's my Guess Who discography complete. When I said at the beginning the discography that I want, what that means is what happened. I'm talking about the Guess Who from the start of the Guess Who, mainly when Burton Cummings was there, right through to the Dominic Troiano albums in the mid-70s. There was a sort of fake Guess Who after that. I don't think it's quite fair to call it a fake Guess Who, because I think they've got the drummer or the bass player or something, and he resurrected the name and put a load of other people in. It wasn't the same band at all. Of course it wasn't, but you could, if you wanted to be mischievous, say, well, Deep Purple are knocking about, and all they've got in their lineup is the original drummer, and they're getting away with it, so why couldn't the Guess Who get away with it? Well, I'll tell you the reason they couldn't get away with it, because there wasn't anybody else in the band who was as good as the people that have been in the band before, at least. When Deep Purple are doing it now, they've got 2 members who did join the band in 1969 and were in what everybody thinks is the best lineup of the band, and the other people who've joined since have all been seasoned musicians who are very good. I think there was a point when the Guess Who were knocking about with a pretty iffy sort of lineup, but that, I understand, has all been put to bed now with lawsuits and stuff, and I think that Burton Cummings and Randy Bachman stopped them doing that. If you've never bothered getting into the Guess Who, now I know for a fact that quite a lot of people over here in Britain only really know American Woman, and they think, oh, how great song that is, who's that? And everybody gets, if it's in a quiz or something, nobody ever gets the name of the band right, because they don't remember who they are, and they think it's all sorts of other people. If you get the chance, if you see a Guess Who album around, just check on it that it's got Burton Cummings on it. If it's got Burton Cummings on it, buy it, because it'll be good. And the same with his solo stuff as well. So that's my little tip for anybody that doesn't know yet. I'm sure most people in Canada and America are going, how can anybody not know Burton Cummings and the Guess Who? But the thing is, they just didn't seem to get promoted. I don't know whether they ever came here, whether they ever toured here or anything. I've never spoken to anybody from England who saw them in England, so I'm guessing they didn't. So if you get a chance, if you see them around at record fairs, there's some albums, and the records got released over here, I think, but just probably didn't sell in huge numbers. Pick them up, the Guess Who. This is Artificial Paradise, the last one I needed to complete my collection. That's it for today. I think we'll only have there 7, 8, 9 maybe rock albums. We'll be back later on with we're going into the Bees next, aren't we? We're going into the Bees with the one album in my collection only videos. Also, there's still some more of these hauls to do as well, so we'll get them done. Now, I've also been given a tip today as well, because I always forget all this promotion stuff, don't I? And I keep saying, I keep forgetting to say, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this and all that sort of stuff. And now what I've been told is I'm not supposed to say goodbye. Not supposed to say thank you very much for watching, see you next time or whatever, like I do usually. What I'm supposed to say is thank you very much for watching, and now go back into my archive and watch all those videos you missed, and by the time you've done that, I'm going to be back with the next new one. There you go. Thanks for watching.